What kind of face was that? You ever had one of those good stretches to where you sound like a freaking velociraptor or something? You're just like... Oh, Monday motivation. All right. So, woke up, checked that off the list. Because, you know, some people didn't make it today. So, if you're watching this video, you're already ahead of the game. Next thing you need to do is click the link in the description and go watch Amanda's video after this video is over, because she just pranked her little brother yesterday for April Fools with this liquid fart spray, and oh my gosh, it was freaking funny. Yeah. And if you haven't realized, but this weekend I dropped 5 songs under my DJ name, Slice of Pizza, which I'll leave the link down there as well for you to go check it out. So I guess I should probably get up. Three, 2, 1, go. This is one of the songs I just released.
Damn, son.
Where'd you find this? Hey, that's like... Wait, can I start over? That is like my most favorite, Damn, son, where'd you find this? No, seriously, if you haven't followed my page yet, go follow it. It's gonna be music all month this month. And training and music. Is this still a dance where you punch? 1, 2, 3, Me and my biggest fans. How many of y'all would come to a festival if I was playing? I was all like jump! Shit, that had the foam spray on people and crazy stuff like that. I think that'd be pretty dope. This song literally took me like 3 hours to make, so go listen to it, because 3 hours of my life is dedicated to making this song. It's called Crackin'. It's the first track you'll find. I can do it. I can totally be a DJ. Yeah.
we expecting a visit from the Tooth Fairy?
So that's my tag. Like, it's like DJ. It's like delicious. Like, the beat's delicious. And then the guy's like, what were you expecting? A visit from the Tooth Fairy? Anyway, that's just an example of the songs and stuff that's going to be coming from me. I was going to do one a month, but like, I have too much fun making those type of tracks because I make them all the time. Like, just in case one day, like, Deadmau5 is like, hey bro, let's work together. Or Marshmello. And then, you know, it'd be slice of pizza, and then it's just like all this food together. A mouse and all this food. Anyway, what are y'all doing today? Yesterday was April Fool's, you know what I mean? What's it called? Passover weekend and whatnot. You know, just reflected a little bit on, let me go ahead and turn this. Yeah, reflected a little bit that, you know, God sent his son to die for us and whatnot. And, you know, I was thinking about that. I'm like, man, so I'm going to tell y'all a story. So basically, there's this guy, right? What is this, 6 minutes? I could get this story done. So check this out. You are now entered into story time with Mr. Chan. All right, so basically, the story goes like this. There's a guy who works at a train station, right? Some of y'all may know the story. If not, then you're learning it right now. Thought I saw a spider. All right, so there's a guy that works at a train station, right? And he and his son, they're like playing, and you know, his job is to, you know, change the tracks, and like make the bridge go down or whatever, so that the people couldn't go across the bridge and whatever. Anyway, so he pulls the bridge up because, you know, him and his son, they're, you know, outside playing and whatnot. And, you know, the train is just, doesn't see a train or anything, right? Anyway, so while they're playing, basically his son, like, runs up to the dock, I mean, the bridge where the, you know, the train, because, you know, like, they bring the, both sides up like this, and both sides. So the son's up there, he's just playing, you know, dad's in the conductor station, or whatever you want to call that, control room. I'm gonna call it control room. Anyway, so people board the train, you know, blah blah blah. You know, dad's just lost in awe because, you know, he's just hanging with his son, you know, just having good day, good vibes, all that stuff. And so this is where it gets interesting. So the son, it goes up there, and the son's like playing in this little area, you know, in between where the bridge would close and all this stuff. And it's crazy because, like, you know, you're looking at this thing, you're like, man, that kid could get hurt, you know, whatever. And the train has all the people boarded on it, and it starts coming. It's like major pain. Anyway, so the train's coming around the bend, whatever. It's getting to where the bridge is, and the dad realizes, like, oh snap, like the bridge is up. So he runs up to the control station, but then he looks and he's like, where's my son? Guess what? His son has fallen now because he was trying to reach for this little thing. He like falls in between where the bridge will close and was not. So now the dad's faced with like this huge dilemma, like, what do I do? In that situation, you're the dad. What do? You got a train full of people you do not know. And you have your son, who's your one and only, your child, your flesh and blood, who's up there, has no idea what's going on. Now, the weird thing is, I've seen this video and it still gets me every time because my selfishness, my selfish self, wouldn't have done anything to save those people, because it's just like, that's my family. That's my, you know what I mean? Like, what would you do? Take a second. I'm gonna just pause it here. You can look at my face. Just think about what you would do. What would you do in that situation? Now, the beautiful part about this is it shows some of the people on the train. You got people who are arguing. You know, you got like a couple who's a husband who's abusive and his wife's just like sitting there. You got a girl who's doing like coke in the bathroom or meth or whatever it was. You got a bunch of people who like stole money and they're like, you know, they just robbed the bank and they're just trying to hide on the train. You know, you got all these people who are on this train who don't deserve it, like, you know, compared to his son who's, you know, that's pure, that's his blood, that's life, you know what I mean? Compared to his son that don't really, you know what I mean? Like, they don't deserve it, you know? And so here's this dad faced with this dilemma, and the dad makes a decision. He says, you know what? I'm gonna save those people. And so he pulls the lever, you know, obviously closes his eyes. His son gets squashed, obviously. And the train just goes on by and he runs up there and he's just like, no, you know, he's crying. And of course, you know, the people in the train have no idea what's going on. They have zero idea. And, you know, he's crying and he's just looking like, no, no. And it shows the lady who was doing coke. And she's like leaning out the window and she sees him crying. And then she just keeps staring, like wondering, like, why was it that he was crying? You know what I mean? And so years later, right? And it now fast forwards to like years later, and it shows that his one act of kindness, what it did. And it shows the lady who was doing the drugs, she's sobered up, she's got color in her face, she's got meat on her bones. Now she has a kid of her own. And she gets off the train and it shows him look at her and he's just like, you know, kind of gives her this look, but then she looks at him and it's like she has her child in her arms and he's like, wow, you know, like she's cleaned up, she's not doing that stuff, you know, like his one act, you know, even though he lost his child, he was able to save so many, like, see what they did there. And of course, watching that video at church this weekend, that hit me. I was like, I still like, I mean, maybe because I don't know. I've never been faced with that situation. You know what I mean? I've never been faced with a situation to have to let somebody else die in order to save a bunch of other people. But you know, what would you do in that situation? You know, think about that. And then think about what it represents, though. You know, this being Easter weekend, you know, a father letting his son die so that selfish people, so that drug addicts, so that abusive people could all have a chance to hopefully one day turn it around. You know, and that's crazy. You know, I think about, like, would my dad do that? Like, would you, Dad? I don't know. But I'm pretty sure my dad would, because my dad is that type of person. My dad is all about, like, he's the big picture guy. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, sacrifice your son to, like, so that situation where, like, Abraham had to sacrifice his son at the top of the hill just to prove his faith. My dad would do it. My dad would, you know, obviously it didn't actually happen. You know, God provided a goat in the bushes or whatever, but yeah, my dad has great faith, and I'm like, I wish that I could say I had the same, but I'm getting there. Anyway, yeah, just so to speak, thinking about that, you know, think about the price that was paid so that you could be here, not just, you know, Jesus died on the cross, but also like the soldiers as well. They sacrifice themselves so that we can be over here and be free. I mean, there's a lot of times that a lot of things we do aren't free anymore, but it's like we still have it better than most countries. You know what I mean? Even our country code is +1. We're #1. So just be thankful that you're here and live a life according. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like I said, go ahead and check out my new music. Check out Amanda's videos. Funny. Like, I'm actually about to order some of that liquid fart spray because I'm gonna start pranking people at work. Yo, can you imagine being in a club and all of a sudden it's like, actually that happens anyway. Never mind. Maybe I won't do that. No. It's been Black and Chan MMA. Today's motivational video segment right here, right now is get up, go do it right now. Listen to one of my songs to hype you up, and that's all. I'm out.